if Troy Aikman comes off of his money and give it to a player, you think that coach is not going to play that player, and that Troy Aikman, one of the league's leading NFL quarterbacks, he invested in his player to play at
12 games. Can I add something? Can I add something to what you said, though? You brought up about how players should know about transfer credits and all that, right?
Oh yeah, that was something different. But I ain't mean to get off.
I'm gonna throw it back on the boost. Shouldn't he know the requirements of a player who accepts money, whether they have to stay there or not? Doesn't that fall on Troy to maybe check his rule, the rules and guidelines? He only did what he had the right to do.
Quick question: if it wasn't for the boosters, does the NIL exist? The same thing you support. If it was for there is no NIL because the money comes from the boosters, right?
That's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying there, but the fact that boosters have such a big pull on it, and it's not all just boosters. Schools come in and play in some of this too. They play. Listen, this has been going on under the cover different ways, not to the level that it is now. Players have been getting paid for years and years. All different. Only difference is the big money schools had the money to do it.
Right.
Little schools, if anything, the NIL has made the league more competitive.
Yeah,
it has given more players opportunities.
And I like it.
And only thing is, people on both sides of it have to know the ins and outs of it.
But here's the thing, though. Those camps, those schools that are more competitive, they have the resources and the boosters to support. When you look at our HBCUs, they don't have the alumni who have the capital to pour into a program to make it competitive at a level that these other campuses deal with.
I agree totally with you, but there's always going to be a small one and a large. There's always going to be, but when I speak of, when you talk about black colleges, you're talking about that's a different level. So they're not going to be able to compete with a Division I school. So they're not going to go.
So my thing is not about the Division I schools. For me, it's about the demographics that look like me. So when I go to college, it wasn't always to play football or athletes. My long game was to provide for my family. Play the game like the system says it does. At the end of the day, when I want to use the degree that I got, I'm gonna have to go to one of these Fortune 500 or wherever it is, whatever company that I go to, and try to compete for that job. Now, when I compete for the job, the people on the other side of the table have the discretion dealing with DEI to decide if they want a person that looks like me. Made my alumni several $1,000,000, but now, even though I've had a chance to play for them and all those things, but now I still got to go back to them and try to ask them, will they hire me?
And have I got now, because education, not only we talking about college, we haven't mentioned education, but now later on in life, when the education matter, because that still don't translate. We talked about how many really have this problem of students making money and all this. For those who don't, this is your skill. So it worked in your college life. But now when I'm sitting at that table, and it's about the main thing, should have been the main thing. Okay, I got a degree from a Michigan or a top 5 power school. But guess what? Let's just be honest. What degree did you get from there? Does it translate after the money or even allow the money to reciprocate? That's my biggest thing in this conversation. Like you got to understand the fact it's college. Somewhere, somehow, it should translate into education after the fact.
So let me go a step further. We're talking about, and even before this conversation about kids getting their education, getting the right degree, being in the right place, that shouldn't have been going on anyway, whether NIL is here or not. I knew back when I was coaching AAU that I had a couple players that I knew of that went to a junior college because the coach got them to come there, and the kid the whole time he was there never took classes that were going to transfer to a Division I school. So when he got ready to transfer, he couldn't find any, but he was eligible to play at the junior college. So the coach was only thinking about the kid at the junior college. That is a parent and that kid's responsibility. Believe it or not, you can't trust a coach or a school to direct you, because the thing is, we want to say it's about education. At the end of the day, colleges are a financial institution.
But why are we taking that responsibility away from college all of a sudden?
Because the fact is that it's never been their responsibility. The truth is, Most colleges, become athletes especially, do not look at what they teach kids. I'm gonna get you to the next level. That's why they go out and get a Bill Belichick coach in North Carolina because they think North Carolina football is going to draw kids.
But here's the thing. Notice what you're doing. College is not just for the student athlete. It's for students first. So notice your solution is only a small portion of any college, the student athlete. But college is for students, period. Now, what you do, you can go academic, you can go band or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do.
So
Education part is different than what the conversation started from.
Okay.
And so the and I'll just say this just to solidify my position. All I was saying is that I'm for NIL because, like you say, these universities have been taking advantage of these kids for so long. Now it's time for us to get out. On the flip side of that, if somebody give you $100,000, you expect some type of commitment or something. They ain't finna just give you money and then you can go and just do what. That's all I'm saying. So on the flip side, there needs to be some type of regulation. I don't know what that is, but it needs to be something to just allow the kid that if you take that money, that you need to at least. I don't want to say like loyal. I don't want to use the word loyalty because they ain't loyal to them kids. But there needs to be something if you sign and take that money that says.
Question though, if a coach comes to you and comes to your room, your living room, and promises to take care of your kids, he gonna make sure your kids taken care of, and then as soon as he gets the next year, he's going to Alabama for a job that he got a $2 million raise on or whatever. Now, should he be obligated to give all his money back? Let your kids
But that's
go?
different.
Yeah, that is different.
Well, here's why it's different.
That's why you sent your kid there, right?
No.
He went there because you trusted this coach.
No, I've said if
The student is not an
the
employee.
money, if you take,
But the coach took the money.
no, that's the coach.
He works for the college.
Yeah,
That's my point.
it's a difference between a kid
My kid
taking
went
the
there.
money.
My kid went there to your school because I trusted you. You came in my living room and said, I'm gonna make sure your kid graduate. I'm gonna make sure you do this. He gonna for me next year, whatever. And you got sold on that. Then all of a sudden he comes.
But Terry, that is a job. We do that in corporate. I can go to a job and find another. That's a job. These kids are going there, and that's why we gotta put education in it to a certain point. They're not employees. In corporate America, if my job right now, if I get hired on a job, right, and I have another job that pays me more, I'm not in college. That's why you cannot remove college and education out of
So
it.
it is a business. It's been a business for a long time.
So you cut me off to
That's
ask.
why we got so many bowl games now.
You cut me off to ask you a question, right? And let me answer that. The question that you just asked. If a coach comes into my kid living room, my living room, and tell me all of this stuff, right? And then kind of find when I commit to them and he leaves. Have I taken any NIL money? If I have taken, I'm talking about money. We talking about NIL money like right now.
That year is considered money to the athlete. But you understand now, that athlete, if I'm dedicated,
No,
and you
that's a scholarship. That's in the scholarship.
Why did he choose to go to your school over this school? Because of what you said.
That's
they going because of the money, bro. They going because of the money, bro.
I'm not talking about the scholarship.
No, we
I'm
got
talking about NIL. That's where we was going. So I get that though. I get where you're going, but it's like we're talking about NIL right now. So
Cause truly these days, these kids ain't come into a system of coaching.
like
how much money you gonna pay me?
Right.
And that's why I'm going. And that's what I'm saying. That's the point.
If you Nick Saban come in my living room and you tell me all these good things, then Nick's legs leave. When I first get there, have I taken any NIL money? If I have, then there needs to be some type of obligation.
Right.
Like from because I took that money, right? So no matter whether Nick Saban there or not, and that's what I'm saying, there needs to be some type of regulation. That's all I'm saying.
So with that regulation, my point is, if you, Nick Saban, come to me or whatever coach come to me and say, play for me and this, that, and the other, we get a money, we establish a price point. Then what happens to me if I give you all I have and I wind up hurt? Third game in, is there a regulation that say you gotta still honor your side, or can you, as a university and as a head coach, send me on out the door just because I got hurt on the field, and I am incapable of completing the obligations that I said in the beginning. Because right now, they're able to cancel it.
Yeah, I get that. That's why I say that just has to be some type. I don't know what that means.
But
I don't know what kind of contract.
But watch this also. And this is why I say, do we really apply to real life? The same thing can happen on my job. Is my company obligated to pay? No, I have to have the knowledge of, do I go get insurance on myself? Do I get these things in place in case? So it goes back again when I say education.
But your company don't pay you up front. Any job, they don't give you the money up front.
No, I'm with you.
Working like
no, I'm with you. What I'm saying is when we say, well, what if the kid get hurt and things of that sort? That's what's lacking. Is like it doesn't prepare you for real life, because on my job I can get hurt. They're not obligated to take care of my business. No, I have to have that knowledge. Hey, man, I maybe get some insurance on them, some life insurance in case if something happens in life.
They play by the rules you give them, right? And college, we were talking NIL. But honestly, in fact, the transactions, it is not about college education. It is about this.
Who benefits from the rules?
It ain't never been about the college education.
I think all people do. It's just that I'm gonna tell you what's happening. People do not like change. That's a fact. Everybody says, I like change. I'm worried about change. But when it comes to change, think about this.
And then y'all trying to keep in mind, every kid is not getting paid.
Yes, they are.
I'm talking about
Walker, they are. All of them, even Joe Smith. I mean,
come on,
through scholarships.
Come on, man, through scholarships. Come on, but I'm talking about
coaches have used that very argument right there every time. They get paid to a $200 a year, $200,000 a year education.
But no, Terry, what I'm saying,
they say all the time.
No, what I'm saying, the thing in which, brother, they're not getting paid where it's the same thing that you're arguing for, like the top. What I'm saying, you're saying that because that apply to top athletes. But even if we look at it, when you say is it benefit, it's not benefiting the student athlete across the
college have said this over and over again. Kids are getting, when they argued about years ago about how keep kids needing money, when they talking about Fab Five and all of them, that's what they said. We paid, which was rounding up to close to $200,000 a year. They were using it. It's always been transactional. The issue is we don't like when the rabbit got the gun. When somebody else got the power to make it, they had a gun. They had to a degree. As a kid transfer, top quarterback transferred somewhere, I'm trying to remember where it was, and he just signed, and they paid him a large amount where it was, and they sued, and they had to give him the suit.
I don't think anyone is saying we're excited that they got the gun, so to speak. What we're saying also, though, what we're also saying is that the same way the colleges, yes, and boosters need to be regulated and need to be regulated to years. You don't say you fix the problem by taking the same problem and putting it in younger, more inexperienced, and lack of knowledge.
Business knowledge yet. They can't hire people or get people to take care of them.
Terry, but what you're still talking about is knowledge. You have to have I'm not talking about books here. No. Look. You're dealing in absolute.
Subject. Yeah. We are intertwining different subjects.
I agree with you 100%. NIL needs to be regulated.
Yeah, that's what the conversation started.
I don't know. I don't know if you should.
I'm saying like
limit the kid on how much he can transfer.
Yeah, that's where we. Yeah, that's where we. There's got to be something.
But I also believe when you start limiting, don't just talk about the kid. Let's talk about these coaches too. Because we got to stop looking at it as academics don't count the coaches or anybody else in it. Because if the academics for the kids, it shouldn't be academics.
I don't care nothing about the coaches. Like, at the end of the day, I'm an athlete, and I need to take care of my family. We just bought bologna and cheese the other day. The day we eating steak. And if I say I'm going to take care of my family, this coach ain't got nothing to do with me saving this money right now. I want this money. I don't care. So if I take this money to back up the conversation that we were talking about, there has to be, I feel like there needs to be just something.
Yeah.
Because now everybody gone. They gone. They getting some money. They gone. And that's cool for them, and that's what they do. Just my opinion is just like there needs to be something in play, and I don't want to let these universities off the hook.
I think what you're missing is when they take that money, if they take an $8 million deal to go to play for Miami. If they leave in that first year, they don't get that whole $8 million.
Well, that's well.
That's
Okay.
the difference.
But also, when do we not have the conversation? What do they do with? Because
What do we do? That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
do we not address? Okay, you take care of your family, but how long? It's almost like it's front end heavy, and that's
what I said. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's exactly when I said they don't pay. Your job don't pay you up front, and that's where I was going with that. Go ahead.
Right. I guess what I'm saying, when I say education, I'm not talking about your degree and what you go to school for. The knowledge it takes. Okay, get the money, but we also have to transition the conversation now. Now that you got the money, especially people like us, now I need to teach you how to take care of the money.
Right.
Because if we see in professional sports, we see in the broke episode on ESPN, when do we have that? Because for you getting your money, am I giving you the money for you to give it right back? Then what did I give you?
Yeah, that's different, but I get it. That's different conversation, but
That's what I was saying.
that's a different conversation. But I get you're so right. We would love to be able to be financial literacy when it comes to finances. We just don't have that. We don't have.
To go back to your point, where the college should be held accountable. Okay, if we're giving this money, guess what? Pay for them a financial advisors.
Yeah, that could be negotiated. That's
if you get hurt
about. That needs to be regulation.
Have them
that's
insurance.
that's
You
regulation.
at least help them through that action and like hold the university.
That's regulation.
Most athletes got to agree with most of the things at this table is that I'm thinking about that student athlete that already knows that in the classroom he didn't come here to try to maximize his opportunity. He might be a slow learner. He may not be able to excel at the college level academically.
Okay.
But this is a way where I know I'm gifted in athletics and I can capitalize on this opportunity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we doing all this to be able to take care of our family.
Right.
So, like he was saying, I think there should be some regulations
Just
both ways. So now that if I decide that this university has paid me and things are not working well,
right.
this other one wants to give me a better opportunity. And what I have to do to forego what they gave me, it should be something else.
That was my position.
I am free,
but I don't want to let these universities off the hook either. Because you right too. Like these folk been taking advantage of us for since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So we're not letting them off the hook. It's also teaching these young men that commitment means something.
That's when maybe I'll use the wrong word when I say it. And that's why I go back to college. You also learn life skills, how to make it, how to thrive. Like that's where you learn who you are. And all that goes over into that. You know what I mean? How do I make that decision? Is that a better deal? Is that more money? Is that a good fit for me? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I go over there and I take the money, but then if I'm trying to get to league, what if they run the same outfit that I'm in? Like it's more to it that you got to make a decision.
So the thing is, once again, I think, especially in our age group, we have the tendency. We don't want things. So for instance, we're sitting there saying about being loyal. We already know. And no one said all you.
That word he said, use that word, but I specifically said I'm not talking about them being loyal.
Okay, so
I do not know.
Normal commitment, right?
Yeah, just a commitment.
So with that being said,
after you take someone's money,
and that's real life. If you don't took the money,
yeah, you don't took their money. There needs to be just something.
We're talking like
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, served his time.
Okay, see, that's could be something that I'm missing.
You think 100,000 bought him 4 years?
No, not 4 years. I mean, from my understanding of the situation, and I could be wrong, okay, because I like to leave myself room for error. From my understanding of the situation, Troy Aikman, he donated and gave the NIL money to this kid, and the kid didn't play a down for Cal after he got that money. Not only did he not play a down, he didn't even say thank you according to Troy Aikman. And I can understand he didn't know where the money came from because the kids say I didn't know where the money came from.
Yeah.
But he was gone now.
He said thank you. Why was Troy looking for a thank you? See, that's just to make the kid look better.
But it still comes back to Troy, he it's not up to the kid to put himself in the game. I can't say, hey, coach, I'm ready to play. If he didn't say I was hurt all year, he was available. The coach didn't put him in.
From my understanding, I don't believe that was the case, that the coach did not play that kid.
Give me a scenario where the kid has the option to say, I'm going to play. And the coach say, but have them say,
But Pat,
or not.
It doesn't
okay, let's be realistic. When a deal like that's made, coaches and everything understand.
For real.
Come on now.
That's what I'm saying.
When I'm paying that, my sending money in school, I'm already making sure that this ain't somebody.
Nah, I don't know nothing about that.
but even if you,
I think I need to make sure that I do more research to make sure that I don't misspeak, because I don't think the kid was hurt, and I don't think it was because of coach, but I could be wrong, all right? Because if the school know Troy Aikman investing in this kid, they know that.
Yeah.
So the coach gonna
return
know
investment.
if Troy gets that.
Hey man, as y'all can see, man, we're having a very spirited conversation, man. This is a special edition of Jay's Corner. Man, we just sitting around here talking about the NIL with student athletes, man, how it's set up, do it need regulation, what all goes into it. And what we want to do, man, we want you all to chime in, man. So if you hear something you agree with or disagree with, man, drop it in the comments, man. We would love to hear your stance on it. Is it about the money? Is it about the education? Or is it a good system and we just need to regulate it? Do we need to put some regulations on it? And do those regulations just go to the students? Do we need to look at the colleges? Do we need to look at the boosters? So y'all continue to tune in to Jay's Corner, man. I'm going to turn the conversation back over.
Yeah, let me hear Pat, man, because I want to finish here with you.
I was just saying, it's like, I can't think of a scenario where a player could say, I'm not going to play unless they play act like they hurt. That's the only time they say, I'm not playing because I'm hurt.
Yeah, a better money.
So, okay.
And I jump ship.
But
I done got this money now.
Well, let me get the understanding. So when he gave him the money, did he play the season or
right?
Did he
That's
wait?
what we're talking about. What you right?
When he gave him the money, teams count the team.
Right. That's why we can't let these universities off the hook.
No, you good. So did the when he got the money, did he play a whole season, or was it like I got the money, then I left the same offseason?
That was my understanding, that he left. He didn't even play a down after he got the money from Troy Aikman frustration.
So when did he leave? I guess that's the point we got to figure out. When did he leave? Did he leave? So I got the money in July. Did he leave in August to go to another team, or did he? Because the transfer portal is open.
I don't know when he left. I just know he did from his trade. He didn't play a down for Cal after he got the money. So whether it was in August, April, May, June, whatever, the fact that according to what the interview said, after he gave him the money, that kid never played for Cal, and that's what the reason Troy Aikman gave him the money for, the booster money, the NIL money, for him to play for Cal, and he never did. So I was like, okay, if that is the case, and I could see why he's upset, pissed. I mean, I could see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but then again, I don't want to let these universities out the hook either. I don't want to seem like I'm for them either. But I also want us to have a bit of like, just think about it. Like, you forget the NIL, take the whole cop thing away. Anybody give you an amount of money to for something? Yeah, that's like anybody give you an amount of money. There needs to be some type of commitment with it, right? Something.
Okay, so I guess since I don't know with the NIL, when I take the money, is there an official contract I need to sign?
No, fam, man, that means something I need to understand as well, right? I don't want to sit here and act like I know everything, right? I want to make sure that I leave myself room for error.
The way it works is, if I come to you and I give you, whatever it is, we give you $5 million.
Okay.
We plan on you playing for our school for 3-4 years, whatever.
Not 5. It's a year contract.
No, because they don't pay. When they pay $5 million, they're not paying for 1 year.
It's a year contract.
Scholarship is. But my point is, if they turn around,
he wouldn't have been there.
if they turn around and say, I'm out. Let's say you go and say, I'm out. I'm not playing this.
He's not getting paid $7 million for 4 years. He getting paid $7 million for that 1 year.
Oh, trust me, Pat. Now he won't. If he leave before that time, he won't get all his money. That's the thing. They don't get to keep everything they gave. They don't get, like the guy. There's a guy right now. I forgot what school he transferred from. He was at one school. They paid him like $7 million. Well, he went to another school that gave $8 million some instead. He left after 1 year. They were suing him for that for even the year that he played. They want that money back too, but they said he couldn't get that. So he turned around and he ended up getting, but he didn't get the rest of his money that he was signed for. The reason he left because the other school gave him more money.
Hey, man, as y'all can see, man, we have a lot of debate on this, man. What we're going to do is take a pause for the call right now on Jay's Corner Podcast. But man, look, keep your conversations going, keep your comments going. We're gonna come back with a part 2 to this, man. Because I think we're all saying the same thing. We're looking at NIL. Should there be regulation to it? What do those regulations look like, right? Should it just be on the student side? Should it be on the colleges and universities and also on the boosters? And so, man, keep the conversation going. Drop your comments, man. We'll even try to bring some of those comments on our second half. But be tuned in for the second half of this conversation. We out.